This is what a MAGA mind is.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it. Here's this guy right here in his brand new Lexus.
There he is, right there.
Right there. That guy right there.
It's what Make America Great Again has always meant to certain people. It's never been about patriotism. It's always been about hierarchy, about making sure black people stay in a place that makes them comfortable. Because let's be honest, imagine living in a country where 400 years you receive every privilege available. Free labor for almost 2 centuries, millions of acres of free land through the Homestead Act, government assistance when black folks were excluded, white veterans received GI Bills as sent to college when black veterans who served the country faithfully did not, white home ownership through FHA loans that black people didn't get while black families were redlined into poverty. There was affirmative action for white folks long before the phrase was ever even created. Let me name a few more. Tax benefits, union protections, government contracts, social security programs that originally excluded black labor, corporate subsidies, banking systems built on predatory denial of black access, policing designed to guard white prosperity, and the unspoken privilege of always being seen and deserving, and all that for generations. And yet here we are, after everything designed to hold us back, we still here. It makes them a failure. We're still educating ourselves, still building businesses. It makes them a failure. Still growing wealth, still buying homes, still pulling up in our Lexuses. That makes them a failure. We still thrive in the ways this country has never planned for us to thrive, and it makes them feel like failures. Because that's what they are. That's why it bothers them, because to them, our success is what it is. It makes them failures. They feel better when they can look down on us. They feel safer when we have to struggle. They feel whole when we are broken. So when they say make America great again, what they are really saying is let's go back and reset the hierarchy. Let's put them back in their place, which is beneath us. Let's strip away any progress that they've made. Let's take away all their rights, all their opportunities, all the wins that make them feel equal. Because for us to feel equal, it makes them feel like failures. Because they've had every advancement known to man, and yet here we are, and that's why our excellence is so powerful, y'all. Because every time we disrupt a narrative they depended on for 400 years, every time we win and we break the system that was never designed for us to succeed, every time we shine, we expose the weakness of a structure built on stolen labor, stolen land, and stolen wealth. It's their failure. This is why our success is revolutionary. It's not just about your car, your house, or your lifestyle. It's a reminder that despite every barrier placed in our way, we still here, thriving, winning, and redefining greatness in our terms. And they're still what they are. Failures.
A living trust is paramount. Does anybody know why you need a living trust? What happens if you die and your house is not in a living trust? Y'all know that, right? So let me just tell you this. So 15 years ago at this point, I buy this house in this affluent neighborhood.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. So this video, I found it on TikTok. You know, I never knew that white people feel this way about when they see black people progressing. Like, it's giving jealousy. And someone was saying in the comment section that this is what started racism in the first place. Jealousy of being taken over, you know, all the good things they have, and they think black people are beginning to take it. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, racism started. And I couldn't unsee that, because like, why would you even be bothered about how people live their lives, how they become progressive, how they are doing better, you know, to better their lives? And meanwhile, once these people are doing the opposite, you guys still come here and complain about it. But now that these people are trying to better their lives, have the good things of life, work hard for their money, and get all the good things they can get from, you know, their money's worth, and then you here spying on them because they are driving an expensive car, they are living in an expensive place, you lived in the same neighborhood, but they are doing better than you do. Meanwhile, you have a 200 years head start. You should have been way better than any other person. To think that most of these benefits, the affirmative action was created because of you, the snaps were created because of you, you know, all those things help you, you know, cope better, I guess. But now that black people are beginning to get who benefit from it, now they are working non-stop to stop it. Like, it's crazy. And now this is giving us a picture how the black people had to go through heights, like go through hell in order to achieve what they achieve. And you have people coming all over the world and are enjoying some of these freedoms and benefits that they are now enjoying, and they think it just happened overnight. Someone did the dirty work, and black people, or black Americans, are the one that did it, and you should thank them every day. So guys, drop your thoughts and let me know what you think about this.
Everybody white. We the only black, we the youngest. We the only blacks in it, right? So I'm like, okay, let me go see who. This is before I really knew about trust. So let me go see who live up in here. And I went to look, and nobody, I didn't tell who nobody was. You know why? Everybody had their house in living trust. So I'm trying to figure out what they do, who they were. I cannot find out anything because everybody's homes were in living trust. Now, fast forward to last 3 years ago, I moved to Maryland, one of the most affluent black communities in the country. Guess what I did?
Got to live in trust.
Guess what I could do? Why? These people have more money. These people driving Lamborghinis and Bentleys and everything else, got bowling alleys in their house. Nobody got a living trust. So I've had situations where I've had people fighting. Mama said, I get to have all that shit because now everybody hating each other when mama died because nobody set up directives. Now when I sell a house in a living trust, 30 days, boom. But when it has to go to probate, it could take minimum of 12 months, but around 2 years. It's costly and it's time consuming. And if we are talking about building wealth, we have to actually protect our assets so that we can pass it. And we're not passing it because we don't have living trust. So as I was on Fly Nubian Money and I was explaining this a couple of months ago, I said, you know what? Because I had redid my trust when I purchased the property out in Maryland. And I was like, all I gotta do is go check you because I paid $3,000 for my living trust because that's how much they cost. So I was like, all I gotta do is go check it. So I recreated my living trust via ChatGPT and I created an ebook that I did to give to the masses, $20, and it sold thousands of copies. But people are creating their living trust and they're not paying attorneys $3,000. You can go to makemylivingtrust.com, $20 download my ebook for living trust. Make my what? Makemylivingtrust.com.
I have a question that I'm really curious about. Why are black people the most hated people on the planet? Why do they fear us, fight us, and try to erase us, but still want to dress like us, talk like us, sing like us, and move like us? To understand that, you have to understand who we are. You see, long before anybody enslaved us or renamed us, we were the blueprint of civilization. We were creating mathematics, medicine, architect, and spirituality when other nations were still in caves. We built dynasties. We built pyramids that stand stronger than the political systems built to destroy us. We created empires that influenced the world. We crafted universities that educated scholars from across the globe. So when people ask, why do they hate us? Let me tell you this. People don't hate the weak. They fear the powerful. And our power is ancient. And then think about this, the transatlantic slave trade, the most brutal and inhumane form of slavery humanity has ever seen. It wasn't just about labor. It was about eliminating identity. It was about breaking the body and the spirit so that the world would forget who we are. But we didn't forget. We didn't fold. Even during the darkest chapters, we created new culture out of nothing. Gospel, blues, jazz, hip hop. The soundtrack of the world came from our pain, our joy, and our resilience. And after emancipation, every time we rose, this country reacted. Reconstruction, lynchings, Jim Crow, Black Wall Street burned to the ground, land stolen, policies written specifically to suppress our brilliance, mass incarceration engineered to replace bondage with bars. And through all of that, we still rose. We built businesses, we built families, and we built movement, and we built cultures. So again, why the hate? Because our resilience is unmatched, because our ability to create out of struggle is unmatched, because our influence reaches every corner of the globe. They want what we create. They just don't want to live what we live. They want our rhythm, but not our blues. They want the sauce, but not the soul that crafted it. But let me tell you who we are. We are the originators, the innovators, the heartbeat of the world. We are the survivors of the greatest atrocity in human history and the creators of the greatest cultural contributions the world has ever known. Black people, you are excellence. You are legacy. You are strength. You are the dream and the dreamers. You are the people the world studies, imitates, envies, even when they refuse to acknowledge the truth. The hate is not about our lack. It's about our greatness, our brilliance, our power, and our influence. Of course they tried to erase us and silence us and destroy us. Yet, here we are, powerful, creative, unbreakable, and ready to build our next dynasty. And when we unite, when we truly heal and recognize our greatness. You ever notice how the same folks who shout the loudest about Jesus are the first ones lining up to starve his people? Now when I see so-called Christians cheering on policies that cut SNAP, Medicare, and Medicaid, I have to ask, what Jesus are y'all talking about? Now let's call this what it is. It's part of Project 2025. They are out here trying to make it harder for working people. Yes, working people to feed their families. We're talking about mothers working 2 or 3 jobs, still not making enough to buy groceries. The average SNAP benefit is only $6 a day per person. That's $180 per month. It's a cup of coffee in some places, not a meal. Now, while they're taking food off people's tables, they're cutting taxes for billionaires while families are rationing groceries and insulin. How is that making America great? You see, when people can't eat, the economy breaks down. When families lose SNAP, grocery stores lose customers. When grocery stores lose customers, workers get laid off. When workers get laid off, the supply chain collapses. That's not just bad for the poor, that's bad for the entire country. This is how a nation declines, not in one dramatic fall, but in a slow starvation of its people. And let's not forget the government shutdown. People keep saying, oh, the Democrats won't open it up. But let me break it down for you. If they open up under the current Republican plan, we all lose. We lose our benefits, we lose health care, we lose stability. If this deal passes, the floodgates of poverty open wide. It's wild. Folks quote, God helps those who help themselves. But forget, that's not even in the Bible. He said, feed my sheep. He said, what you do to the least of these, you do unto me. So if your politics celebrate feeding billionaires while starving the working poor, that is not Christianity. That is the antithesis of Jesus. And here's the thing. This ain't new to us. Black folks have always been left out, left behind, and left to fend for ourselves. We've always been the first to suffer and the last to be saved. We've been through Jim Crow, redlining, the war on drugs, welfare reform. So when the system fails, we already know the playbook. But this time, it's different. Because now poor white folks are catching it too. And they ain't used to that. They're not used to the government turning their back on them. And that's why you see the outrage. Because for the first time, they're getting a taste of America we've known for centuries. And what's wild is, instead of building solidarity with us, some are still pointing the finger at us, when the truth is, the same system that starved us is now coming for them too. And while all this is happening, let's talk about money, because somehow there's always money for war, just not for the poor. Billions to Israel, billions to Ukraine, billions to Venezuela. But when it's time to feed Americans, suddenly we broke. Now let's be real. It's not that America doesn't have money, it's that America doesn't have mercy. And now under this Project 2025 playbook, they're literally taking money from Americans while handing it to everyone else. In the last 10 months, we've watched inflation rise, unemployment rise, housing costs rise, confidence in America fall. We used to be admired around the world. Now we're admonished. People used to look up to us. Now they look down and feel sorry for us. Our government is in disarray. Our leadership is a laughingstock. And it's scary to think where this road leads if we keep letting greed lead policy. Because when America catches a cold, we get the flu. So if we know the storm is coming, we can't just pray it passes. We got to build our own shelter. We need to own something. We need to grow our community economies. We need to master financial literacy. We need to diversify our income, and we need to educate and unite. They may try to starve us economically, but we got recipes for survival, because the next recession, the next shutdown, the next Project 2025, it won't break us, it'll wake us. I have a question that I'm really curious about. Why are Black people the most hated people on the planet? Why do they fear us, fight us, and try to erase us, but still want to dress like us, talk like us, sing like us, and move like us? To understand that, you have to understand who we are. You see, long before anybody enslaved us or renamed us, we were the blueprint of civilization. We were creating mathematics, medicine, architect, and spirituality when other nations were still in caves. We built dynasties. We built pyramids that stand stronger than the political systems built to destroy us. We created empires that influenced the world. We crafted universities that educated scholars from across the globe. So when people ask, why do they hate us? Let me tell you this. People don't hate the weak. They fear the powerful. And our power is ancient. And then think about this, the transatlantic slave trade, the most brutal and inhumane form of slavery humanity has ever seen. It wasn't just about labor. It was about eliminating identity. It was about breaking the body and the spirit so that the world would forget who we are. But we didn't forget. We didn't fold. Even during the darkest chapters, we created new culture out of nothing. Gospel, blues, jazz, hip hop. The soundtrack of the world came from our pain, our joy, and our resilience. And after emancipation, every time we rose, this country reacted. Reconstruction, lynchings, Jim Crow, Black Wall Street burned to the ground, land stolen, policies written specifically to suppress our brilliance, mass incarceration engineered to replace bondage with bars. And through all of that, we still rose. We built businesses, we built families, and we built movement, and we built cultures. So again, why the hate? Because our resilience is unmatched, because our ability to create out of struggle is unmatched, because our influence reaches every corner of the globe. They want what we create. They just don't want to live what we live. They want our rhythm, but not our blues. They want the sauce, but not the soul that crafted it. But let me tell you who we are. We are the originators, the innovators, the heartbeat of the world. We are the survivors of the greatest atrocity in human history and the creators of the greatest cultural contributions the world has ever known. Black people, you are excellence. You are legacy. You are strength. You are the dream and the dreamers. You are the people the world studies, imitates, envies, even when they refuse to acknowledge the truth. The hate is not about our lack. It's about our greatness, our brilliance, our power, and our influence. Of course they tried to erase us and silence us and destroy us. Yet, here we are, powerful, creative, unbreakable, and ready to build our next dynasty. And when we unite, when we truly heal and recognize our greatness, game over for everybody else. Now drop a black fist in the comments and share this with someone who needs to hear this Black History gem.
I love what this woman is doing. She's trying to educate black people, especially black women, on some of the benefits and how, Caucasians have been enjoying, by having their houses, cars, and other things, right? She's trying to teach them how to get all those things. And it's very important. Once black people, you have the knowledge, it's good to, teach your people so that they know the ways of how the Caucasians have been, getting all those good stuff. It's a good thing. And I appreciate her for doing that, for her people. And it's nice. And I just pray that one day we will reach a point where people will just live your life. Don't put your eyes on other people. And it's like people are wishing that people go back to the slavery days. These people are doing better. Of course, you want people to do better. The more people do better, the lesser crimes we have. So I'm out and all for people doing better, and I guess any other person out there should support that. So guys, if you have come for in this video, drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I know it has been ongoing and some of us are just knowing it firsthand, right? So drop your thoughts in the comments. But before you go, hit on the subscribe button, hit on the like button, hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. See you in the next one. Have a blessed day.